Welcome back, friends. Welcome to Suzanne Elizabeth's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making a mushroom, onion, and Gruyere tartlet. I'm going to be making little appetizers out of them. And the inspiration for today's dish is that I have a friend coming for dinner, for Christmas dinner. Actually, I have 10 people coming for Christmas dinner. And one of my friends loves mushrooms, and so although today is not Christmas or Christmas Eve when we're going to have the actual party, I wanted to try out this recipe, so I decided to bring you along with me. As I said, I've got 10 people coming for dinner on Christmas Eve, and so I want a recipe that will be easy to prepare and something that I can just pop in the oven. I can make it ahead of time, pop it in the oven, and serve it to my guests, and so that I can enjoy their company instead of slaving over a hot stove. And so follow along. Here we go. To begin with, I've got about a pound of mushrooms, 2 medium-sized white onions, and 2 cloves of garlic, just sautéing away slowly but surely in a pot or a skillet, a cast iron skillet, with some butter and olive oil. So we're just letting it slowly sweat, and while it's doing that, oh, guess what we have to add? Nutmeg. That's right, nutmeg. I've already added salt and pepper. You could also add some fresh thyme. Nutmeg, as you know from watching me previously, nutmeg is one of those spices that really goes beautifully with a savory dish. So we're just adding that. And then we've got our Gruyere cheese, and we're going to grate that by hand, because you know that we only buy our cheese in blocks. We never buy it pre-grated. I mean, I suppose in an emergency I would, but I really just like grating it myself. So we're going to do that, and then next we're going to cut out the puff pastry. And you know, you could, most of the recipes that I've seen for this type of a tart call for Gruyere cheese. You know what else would be really good? Would be blue cheese. That would be fabulous. I just don't have any blue cheese right now, and I love Gruyere. So that's what we're doing. There you go. I've got, let's see if you can see there, about, you're going to need a better view, about a cup. I might need 2 cups. We'll see how we go. We've still got some left. Now I've got my puff pastry, and what I wanted to show you is that I've just been letting it defrost. It was in the freezer, and I'm letting it defrost, and you have to be careful because, of course, it's very delicate. So as you unroll it, or unfold it as it were, just be very gentle. So now it has unfolded into 3s, and you could cut it into circles. I've seen people do that, and I have. Let me show you. For instance, you could use something like this and just pop it, as you can see, like that. Cut out a little circle like that, and use that if you want it. Or you could just cut it into squares. That would also be easy to do. So since I've started with circles, I'll just go ahead and continue with circles. I thought I was going to do squares, but now that I've done this, I kind of like the look. So we'll do that. And just cut these. Oh, what I also wanted to tell you, sorry, I got distracted thinking about circles. The other thing that you could do is just use the entire tart, the entire pastry. I'm going to turn this down so it doesn't burn, give it another little stir. What you could do, in fact, I'm just going to take it off of the heat because it's cooked long enough. The other thing you could do is just make one large tart. So for instance, cutting it into these little bite-size pieces are perfect to start your meal. And see, we've got extra here. Now I'm going to need my rolling pin. So that's a consideration. Probably the most foolproof and least wasteful way to do this would be just to cut it into little squares, or cut it, lay it out flat, and just use it as one whole sheet, and that's fine. And really, the one whole sheet, using it as one large tart, would probably be best suited to a sit-down dinner, where you're going to serve it as a first course, an appetizer. These little tartlets that we're going to have here, and see, I've just rolled it out again. These little tartlets are good for when your guests first arrive and everybody's standing around the kitchen with a glass of wine, because that's usually what people do. I don't care how large your home is. If you're in the kitchen, it's like my newfies. They're here, laying around the island. So, people are like Newfoundlands. They like to be where you are. And especially if you're making something fabulous and delicious. So, we're doing, bring this back over here so you can see. I've got my little tarts, and I'm putting them on parchment paper, which, if you've seen my previous videos, you know I'm a huge fan of parchment paper. It's, especially when you buy it in these little individual sheets, which you can do at the grocery store, and they're just very convenient. I love them. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put this last one. All right, now where's my towel so I don't burn my hand? Now what I want to do is grab a spoon, and you're going to see how easy this is. It's so ridiculously easy. In fact, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I have an egg wash to use, and what I've read is, put the egg wash around the edges, but I'm going to just put it over the entire thing, because otherwise I think it's going to be too difficult, because these little rounds are so tiny. So just quickly, this is just nothing more than a scrambled egg, and just brush the tops of your little puff pastry dough circles with that. There you go. Now we're going to go back to adding this. And just, you can see I've got a little soup spoon, because these are so tiny. And we're just going to add a little bit to each one. And this is really something I think your guests are going to love. I just used a pound of little baby portobello, sometimes called cremini mushrooms. If you were feeling very adventurous, and if your budget allowed, find yourself a mixture of different wild mushrooms, or something like shiitake mushrooms, hen in the wood mushrooms, anything you like. I think that would be really fun. And when I actually make this dish for Christmas, I probably will, if I can, find a variety of mushrooms, because first of all, it's very pleasing to the eye, and second of all, I would imagine it's equally pleasing to the palate to have that variety of tastes and textures there. Okay, there we go. But if you don't have a variety of mushrooms, and I'm trying to look here so that I can redistribute the wealth of nations amongst the little pastries, because some of the earlier ones got more, and then of course almost all of them have mushrooms slipping off the side. Now
I'm going to add just a little bit of Gruyere to each one. And as I said before, this would be wonderful with blue cheese. And when I actually make this for my Christmas dinner, I might just do a combination of blue cheese and Gruyere cheese, just because, you know, why not? It would be fun to experiment with different cheeses and the different flavors you get there. So there we go. And then these are just going to go into a 400-degree oven for probably 15 to 20 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. You know, really the only thing you're doing is keeping, you want to watch the puff pastry, because the mushroom's already cooked. The cheese just has to melt. So it's really the puff pastry. So there you go, 400 degrees, 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on them so they don't burn. And you've got a wonderful, quick and easy, look, it's only 11 minutes, a quick and easy appetizer. I could also make this the day ahead, cover it with foil so it doesn't dry out, and pop it in the refrigerator so that the day of my dinner, it's one less thing I have to do. So try this. It's easy, it's elegant, it's wonderful. The taste is fabulous. So enjoy. Thank you again for visiting Suzanne Elizabeth's Kitchen. I'll see you soon. Bye.